chance, Shorty rock, give me one more chance. Shorty, give me one more chance, Shorty rock, give me one more chance. Shorty, give me one more chance, Shorty rock, give me one more chance.
Like that.
Shorty, give me one more chance, Shorty rock, give me one more chance.
It's your boy Shorty Rock.
Shorty, give me one more chance, Shorty rock, give me one more chance. Shorty, give me one more chance, Shorty rock,
Check
give me
it
one
out.
more chance.
First things first, Shorty Rock. Okay, so this is another episode of the Shorty Rock NYC show. My name is Shorty Rock. You can find me all over the internet at ShortyRocNYC, but you can especially find me on Instagram and Facebook at ShortyRocNYC. Okay, now today we have a very controversial topic. Our show is very controversial, so we have a lot of controversial topics, but today is a very extreme controversial topic that we're going to talk about that affects people of color. And we just really want to kind of get everybody's opinion. But if you have any comments, make sure you put it down in the comments. But please, please, please share this video, okay? Now, thank you for tuning in to the Shorty Rock NYC show. I'm going to let my co-hosts go ahead and introduce themselves. So coming all the way from the woods, the deep woods of Texas, where there's hardly any electricity, a lot of possums, a lot of rabbits, deers are a regular thing. Is Riri. Go ahead, Riri. Tell them a little bit how they can reach you.
I'm Riri. You can find me on Facebook, Rebecca Renee Riri Thompson, or Sunshine Money Solution and Tax Services. And on Instagram, you can find me on BeckTNay37.
All right. And then also coming from the woods, very deep part of the South. You probably never heard of it before, but we were able to find her by the grace of God, GPS systems, is Vaughn. And I believe she's coming out of a place called Ruskin, small town. Probably never heard of it, but Vaughn, go ahead and tell them a little bit about
why do you always do that? Why do you always do that?
No, I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real.
Keep it what, girl?
No, nobody knows what Ruskin is. But go ahead, Vaughn. And go ahead and tell them where they can find you.
Well, you can find me, You can find me on Facebook at Von Shanita Edwards at Facebook. And you can also find me on Instagram at sophisticatedb_76.
Okay, cool. Now, you got to catch Vaughn probably on her phone sometimes because, you know, the Wi-Fi ain't that good down there. All right. Because the trees, mountains. All right. So coming all the way from Loxahatchee.
Woohoo! You got it.
Well, you know, I'm a linguist. You know what I'm saying? You know, from Loxahatchee, Florida. I know you ain't never heard of that. Is Claudine Lee. Go ahead, Claudine. Talk to him.
Hi, Shorty, you're gonna have to Google Loxahatchee to see where I'm from because we have lots of redneck. You might wanna pick on me too.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you. Let me find out where you at. I can scoop you up.
Hi, I'm Claudine Lee. You can find me on Instagram, CLAUDINE0318, and Facebook, Claudine Lee. And you can Google my name. You find me wherever.
I know that's right. Sure. All right. And then also coming from a well-known place, we all know where this is at. So probably the only person that actually lives in civilization other than me. We have Angelina Maria.
You can find me on Facebook at Angelina Maria or on Instagram, Angelina Maria _.
All right, that's what's up. Okay, so we're gonna jump right into the show. All right, we got a very dope topic, and we definitely want to get everybody's opinion on this. Okay, all right. So, as usual, what I've been liking to do recently is I like to actually have y'all watch a video, and then as y'all watch the video, then I want to actually introduce what the topic is. Okay, so give me a second. Let me make sure y'all can hear me. and hear this video loud and clear. Okay.
Greetings, gentlemen. I greet you here on the bank of the James River, in the year of our Lord 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. As our boat sailed south on the James River, named for our illustrious king whose version of the Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its highways in great numbers, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasions. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple miles back. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprisings, slaves are running away, your crops are sometimes left in the field too long for maximum profit, you suffer occasional fires, your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I am not here to enumerate your problems, I am here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On top of my list is age, but it's there only because it starts with an A. The second is color, or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, size of plantations, status on plantations, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley, on a hill, east, west, north, south, have fine hair, coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action, but before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. The black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have white servants and overseers who distrust all blacks. But it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Gentlemen, these kits are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, so this is talking about the Willie Lynch Letter, a very famous document that was distributed throughout the South and throughout America as a way of actually controlling the minds and the hearts of people of color, to suppress them and keep them at odds with each other, in a type of mental warfare that was to serve to keep them oppressed, keep them from working together, and keep them from ever getting to a point where they could rise above their slave masters, okay? So today's topic is, in modern day society, all right, is the Willie Lynch Letter still affecting people of color? In modern day society, is this Willie Lynch Letter, which was created back in slave times, still affecting people of color? Who wants to go
Yes.
first? Go ahead, Riri. Explain.
It's definitely affecting the people in the South. I wouldn't say so much from traveling, say California and in Florida area. I noticed the difference. The people are not programmed like the people in the South are. The people in the South have a mental attitude of slavery, and it's because it's still instilled here. It's even taught in the Black homes, and then that's the sad part. You have some Black homes that are still teaching that because that's all they've known.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean the Black homes are teaching these policies?
They pretty much teach their children that the white man is in control and that you can't win with the white man, or you can't win with the government. With that, that's not true. And you have a hard time getting them to understand that's not true. If we become a unified force, anything can be changed. And to believe what has been going on for 400 years is the way it's supposed to be. It's not the way it's supposed to be.
So you
It's
telling
hard
me, I don't mean to cut you off, but I mean to cut you off. So you telling me that your parents
No,
taught
not
you,
mine.
oh, not your parents, but
Not
other
my
parents, other parents out here are teaching their kids that the white man is always right and there's nothing we can do to rise up against white supremacy.
It's a large number of them. It's a large number of them. Even within the school system, it's pretty much taught in the history classes that this is normal. This is life. It's inevitable, and that's not correct. But if they've not ever if they don't leave the South and that's all they know, that's what they believe. That's literally what they believe. And they walk around angry. They walk around destructive of their own lives. It's really rampant in the South, real bad. It's like they're not getting taught what they need to be taught about how they can overcome what we've already went through. So it starts at home here.
Okay. Vaughn, what do you think? Is the Willie Lynch letter still effective in modern day time?
I believe, yes, that it is. And we are one of the races that we still tearing down each other. Like, a lot of people do not support Black-owned businesses. It's like the hardest to try to work with someone that's a Black-owned business. So they would rather give their services to either the whites, or they were to give it to the Chinese, Japanese, because look at how many Black-owned hair supply stores there are. We're the main ones that actually run that industry as far as us buying it. But how many of us actually own one? See what I mean?
Right.
And then that's based on race.
You're right.
Right, but then also as well is that we've done so much to each other trying to get on top of each other that we don't trust each other either. Like back then, you know, other slaves would tell on another slave just so they could make sure that their family is safe. It's still the same way now, because I'm like, a lot of people, of course, you know, if I want to get over to make sure that I'm okay, I might slander you to make sure that I'm straight. That's still happening now. So it's no different.
What does it look like now?
But I mean, now let's just say me and you are both up for the same position.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But there's something that I know about you that they don't know personally.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll make them look at you in a different light. So if I told them that, the hiring bosses, I told them that, actually that should just disqualify me from the job altogether, but it doesn't. What it does is it ends up being that I just got a leg up on you. It's not fair.
So basically, people of color stabbing each other in the back.
Yes.
All day long.
Or either
all day long.
Or you go to someone that's Black owned, somebody always want a handout, they want a deal, oh, you know what, sister, let me get a deal, brother, let me get a deal. No, the price is what it is.
That's right.
But you don't do that when you go, if you go to just a regular anywhere store that's owned by the white man, you don't ask them, like when you're going to Nordstrom's, hey, let me get this for a deal. You don't ask them that. You pay the price.
Yeah.
So you don't ask for no hookup.
Yeah.
No, because it ain't one.
No, they don't. But they will do it to us. And they don't even realize what they're doing.
And then they get mad if you don't give it to them. They get mad and like, okay, well, I'm not going to come back here. Okay, well, you know what? To each his own, sweetheart.
Bye.
Yeah, and when you try to help them, they take advantage of you. They don't respect you as a boss. It's like you tell them, do this, get there on time. They don't come on time. They go to white people, they get there early. So they know they're gonna get fired. They know when you're dealing with your black people, you're gonna be there for them. You're gonna help them out, but they don't respect us. I think that's a problem as in the black community need to change too. So it's crazy.
Yeah, they want something free, but they don't want to pay.
No.
They don't want to pay, but they want you to work like you're getting paid.
Yes.
Right.
That's not reasonable.
So you telling me, because this is what I'm hearing, because I'm trying to keep us on subject. You're telling me that based on them feeling like white people are more important or to be more respected than their own kind, they give their best and have higher expectations from the white establishments than they do from people of color establishments, because they're going to respect the white establishments to respect their prices and respect their services, that they're going to be like, you know, we're not even going to question the white establishments. But for the black establishments, because we don't trust them, because we don't respect their skills and their abilities in their establishments, we think that we can negotiate and bargain with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Angelina, what do you think? Are the Willie Lynch Letter still applying to today?
Yes.
Okay, how so?
Just like they said, in that letter, it was all about putting the black race against each other, even the skin tone, light versus black. You see it today. People make jokes of it, but people actually do feel that way. You know, light skin, you know, you got a light skinned man. He don't like her because she's too dark. Or you got a dark skin, I don't like him, he's too light. And that happens still to this day. And that letter was created to diminish black people, to put them against each other, to keep them lower. And it's still happening. See, when people speak correctly, they call it, oh, you talk white. No, I speak proper.
Yeah.
I'm professional. But because it's been instilled in us that, oh, when you speak correctly, that's considered speaking white.
That's the white standard.
Happening.
That's the white standard.
Thank you.
You have reached and achieved white standard.
And that's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that that's what you're doing. No, I'm just educated. I'm professional. And there are plenty of us, women, men, who are black. And yes, Hispanics we have that African blood in us, that African descent in us. I say, yes, we are black as well. We speak proper. Oh, I didn't know you were Hispanic. I say my last name at work and they're like, yes, I thought, and they get confused. But just because I'm educated, I'm professional, and I can speak properly does not mean I'm talking white, or that automatically makes people assume that I'm white. But that's been instilled in people. And it's still, to this day, it works. It's still working.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question real quick. In the Lag community, do you guys differentiate between shades of color?
Absolutely. My grandmother is what is considered white Puerto Rican. My father's was considered black Puerto Rican. And that is a very, very big thing. They
How so?
because they will actually, the white Puerto Ricans, they will actually treat the black Puerto Ricans as less than.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
although Puerto Rico is poverty stricken, the black Puerto Ricans live in even worse conditions
Mm.
for the most part. And I know because I'm considered, when I was growing up, my nickname was Negra. I was the darkest one on my grandmother's side of the family. So they nicknamed me Negra, which means black.
Mm.
So
your
it
whole
really
life,
happens
people
even
are,
within our own race.
so your whole life, your own people are calling you black.
Or Negroid, or half white, you know, it's half breed. It's been there forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even my nieces and nephews go through it. I mean, and I have to explain to them, this is not something new, but this is not real. This is not life. This is not what you have to accept. This is who you are. You're an individual in God, made in his image. Do not accept what people tell you from last year's history or 1,000 years ago. This is who you are, and this is who you need to be, and you make people respect you as that.
Now, let me ask you a question. How has your skin tone impacted anything about your life? Like not necessarily you just being Puerto Rican or you being black, but just your skin tone. Has it ever affected anything? Relationships,
The
jobs?
respect you get at work.
Yes.
Okay. All right, talk about that real quick. Like explain that.
I worked for a really big insurance company, and it was very obvious that they would gravitate and be nicer towards the white people. And my New York accent, I was told it's too aggressive. I couldn't even speak with a New York accent. Even if I was speaking properly, I couldn't speak with a New York accent because it was too aggressive. But then there was a white dude who had a New York accent, and they didn't say anything to him. But for me, it was too aggressive. How so? That didn't make sense to me. But I realized, okay, because it was my white supervisor, and I'm not saying she was racist, but it came off that way. It came off that she felt because I'm Puerto Rican, maybe, I don't know, maybe because I'm Puerto Rican and I have a New York accent, that's why she said it, but I can't speak for her. But there was a white man who had a New York accent, and they didn't say anything to him. I had to change the way I talk, and like I said, to talk white. But it wasn't that, it was just that I spoke properly, I should say, and it's frustrating.
Very.
Riri, has your skin tone?
My skin tone has been an issue in Texas, not anywhere else. And that's when I realized that it was a racial situation, because they would hear me over the phone. And if I'm talking to somebody about a job interview, when I get there, their eyes are bugged. Because my name is Rebecca Thompson. When I talk on the phone business, I talk different than I do in person or even on the show. So they would buck their eyes, and it's obvious. They were like, "Oh, you're Rebecca Thompson?" I was oh, well, never mind. But it's all over their face. And then the way they talk to you and they treat you, and then they'll ask you, well, how did you learn to talk so proper? Or how did you learn to talk so white? Or how many years have you been in customer service that you have this down pat? I was taught to talk like this at home. I was not taught to talk like this in a job. We had to talk a certain way at home. We were not allowed to just use any words. We couldn't even use slang.
So because of your skin tone, they was expecting you to not be able to speak proper English?
Yes, or even to carry myself like I had intelligence, or that I knew how to do a management job, or I knew how to supervise or I knew anything without having to be taught.
So
It's aggravating.
they were distrustful of you to be able to perform the job, and they were surprised when they actually spoke to you.
And will even say it. I've had one tell me, I didn't know you people had that much sense. Excuse me?
Damn.
Then it get indignant. You
That's
know,
when you just grab them like that. You go, we don't know.
Yeah, and I used to
Wow.
have to tell people, what do you mean by you people? Are you talking about yourself? Because I'm not you people. I'm one person.
Yep.
Don't put us in a barrel. But I was also taught to speak up for myself, to make sure that they understood, because my grandmother is Irish on my mother's side. And she told us, you are not your color. You are an individual, and you make people respect that. Because with my blue, green, gray, hazel eyes, and strawberry blonde hair, they perceive me as a Black woman when they hear me on the phone. But when they see me, they are indignant because I'm not a Black woman. But they categorize me as a Black woman because I've been married to a Black man for over 40 years. And I carry his traits. She said, and people are going to treat you like that. So stand up for yourself. Speak up. Let people know who you are as a person, not as a race.
Claudine.
Be called the Oreo and all of that. It's
You been called the Oreo before?
Wow.
Yes, many times.
Claudine, you are Haitian, right? Haitian descent.
Yes.
Now, when I think about Haitian people, I do not think about light-skinned Haitian people. So have you ever experienced your skin tone being looked at in a negative way from other Haitians?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. When I used to go to school, and the kids, they used to make fun of me. They used to call me like white girl. And because my skin was super, super light, it's like right now, since I moved here, my skin getting darker. But they used to make fun of me. Even growing up in my own house, I used to wish my skin was darker because I used to get beaten for everything. So I did feel like my skin tone was too light for my family. But I did wish my skin was darker. But lots of people have darker skin, they wish they have lighter skin. But in school, yeah, it was an issue in school.
Hold on. You saying that your family would beat on
Yes,
you because you were light skinned?
Your own family, yes.
I don't really, from my dad used to beat me a lot. He never said it because of my skin, but I felt it. It was because of my skin. Because we all have choices. My little sister, she have dark skin. And so I began beaten for everything. So I felt like I wish my skin was darker growing up.
So you felt like your dad was possibly taking some of the anger that he had for white people out on you because you were lighter.
I have no idea if you take it. I don't know.
Okay.
But
So let me ask you this. Are both your parents dark skinned?
No, my mom light skin.
Okay. And she's a light skinned Haitian or is she Caucasian?
Yeah. She's Haitian. My great parents for my mom's side, they're like really white. And my mom cousin, they're like really white with blonde hair in Haiti. Yeah, my mom's side, they're mixed.
Okay. And Renee, you was agreeing with the mistreatment of your own family because of your skin tone. Have you experienced that as well?
Yes. And I didn't have the bad end of it. My brother did because he was darker. And other cousins in my family, they had the bad end because they were darker. And
who was the one doing the mistreatment?
The grandparents. Well, one grandparent and different relatives. they just have their pick over who's light and who's dark, and it's just sad to me. I'm like, we're people. Who
So you
cares
felt
what
like they liked the lighter skinned kids more than the
Yeah.
darker skinned kids?
Mhm. Yeah, and you could tell it. You could tell it. I mean, it's so obvious. Well, I mean, they just make it obvious. The lighter ones are treated better than the dark ones, and it's just. And then you have cousins who are crying because they like you better than me because you're light, and they don't like dark. I mean, it was very obvious.
Mm.
Yeah, he shouldn't be like that, but that's how they make it. But it's sad.
Mm. Well, I want to revisit a little bit the Willie Lynch letter. So I just took a little bit of notes here. I've heard the Willie Lynch letter. I've read it a couple times. Some people believe that it was a hoax, that it wasn't really real. But as we can see in our own personal lives, this is something that is very much real. You know, a lot of people try to dismiss it as a hoax. Wasn't something that was true. There was never a person named Willie Lynch, blah, 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 blah. But we can see the impact, whether it was a real person that wrote this or a fictional or whatever it was. This was a real tactic that was used to oppress people of color. So one of the things that it said was take the differences, whether it's the age, young versus old, shade of color, dark versus light, the location. You live in the valley, these people live in the hood, you live in the suburbs, male versus female, the men fighting against the women feeling like the men ain't no good, men feeling like women can't be trusted, and then always having overseers that are constantly and habitually distrusting of blacks. We see that all the time when it comes to the police.
Yep.
These are the overseers that oversee these neighborhoods and patrol these neighborhoods, and we see it.
Target them, really.
Target them, harass them, occupy our neighborhoods. That's why we see all these videos of so-called Karens calling the police on black people doing absolutely nothing, just because they know that the police are always going to be distrusting of people of color. You know, we've all experienced a time in which the police may have been a little bit more aggressive towards someone of color, whether you've seen it yourself, whether it was towards you, or whether it was on television or the internet. We've seen acts of aggression take place on black people that may or may not have been doing anything wrong, because it is a system-wide distrust of people of color. You know, I can't lie. I've been indoctrinated with it too. It is something that I'm trying to overcome, something I'm trying to teach my kids not to fall into, because it's a very easy thing to fall into, but it is mental warfare. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to admit, if I'm walking in the hood, and if I'm walking in the hood and I see a group of black dudes chilling on the corner, I might walk on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
But I've never walked on the other side of the street if I've seen a whole bunch of white people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure, I'm opposite.
Like,
Yeah.
some of that is based on my own personal experience. You know what I'm saying? Being in the hood and doing harmful things to people for absolutely no reason. But some of it is based on just me looking and assuming that the group of black dudes is gonna be a little bit more aggressive
Yeah.
than a group of white people. But the group of white people have hurt my people the longest and the most than any other color out there. But yet I will move across the street when I see a group of black dudes opposed to a group of white people.
And I'm like that about white people. I don't trust white people. I will move away from a group of white people in a minute because I've seen what they do.
The only white people I move away from is police. If I see a whole bunch of police in one area, I'm not going
agree.
Black
Because
people
black people, it's like, it's easy to attack on us. It's like we attack on each other. It doesn't make sense. It's like white people, they don't attack us. We just have to be afraid of the police because the police, at the end of the day, they have a report they have to bring something in the report. Either they bring something in jail, someone in jail, or they give someone a ticket. I used to work as a security guard. It only lasts me 2 days, then I quit. Because at the report, I have to write a report. I have to make something up. Even there's nothing I have to report. Doesn't make sense. So I have to quit. That's right. Police is like a bunch of lies. It's like they have to come up with something, or they get fired, or they get in trouble. They don't want to get fired, but they're gonna have to go in the hood to find someone. They're not gonna go to the white people to find someone to put put them in jail. No. Automatically they know exactly where they need to go. They're going after us. So we have to make sure we don't buy them, give them any excuse. So we just have to get together and change. If we don't change, they're not gonna change. We have to make it better for ourselves.
You're right. We have to love and respect ourselves. And our people have to love and respect themselves, or otherwise it's not going to ever change. It starts with us.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I'm scared to go to the hood. When my friend told me, let's go there, I was like, I'm scared. Really scared to go to my family's house. Scared to go there because it's the neighborhood. We shouldn't scared. That's all our black people neighborhood, but we're scared to go there.
All right.
See, growing up,
yeah, go ahead, Angela.
Growing up, I grew up in the projects in Brooklyn, so I was more inclined to I was more comfortable walking past a group of black people, Hispanic people versus the white people. I don't want to be nowhere near them because I saw what they were capable of. Police are not. Yeah. But then as I got older, I realized I'm not going to let them instill that fear in me. So I'm going to walk right through the crowd of white people. I don't care. I'm going to walk right. I'm going to speed past, not speed like, OD, but if the cop is going too slow, I'm not going to just cruise behind you because I'm scared. No, I'm not going to let you put that fear in my heart. You're not going to do that because that's the problem is that people stay feeling like, oh, I need to be scared of them because they're black and I know what they're capable of. No, I know what the white people are capable of.
Yes.
Not all, but I've seen what white people can do. Yeah. And just because of the color of your skin, you're not going to put that fear in my heart anymore. So I'm going to walk right through you. You can look at me however you want. You can say whatever you want. I'm going to talk back because I was in Publix last weekend. I was in Publix on Saturday. And I went to go reach for the salad in the fridge. This older white man cut in front of me, like mad aggressive, mad rude, cut in front of me. And I was like, that was really rude. And now I got on a mask and he doesn't. And he was like, what did you say? What did you say? And he's getting all like brolic. And I'm like, no, I'm not the one. I'm not the one. I don't care who you are, but I'm not the one. Right. And now my friend who's Mexican, she's with me. She's over by the fruit. And she looks and she's like, what's going on? Because now everybody's looking because he and I are going back and forth. Yep. It has to stop. They have to stop doing that. And she came out and she was like, your privilege is showing. Damn. She screamed at him. And I was like, and older white woman came up to me and she was like, I know he's wrong. I saw it and he's not worth it. I understand he's not worth it, but if no one says anything and if people don't actually speak up for themselves, they're gonna keep doing the same thing.
That's right. That's right.
So I'm gonna say something. You put no fear in my heart.
Yeah.
And fight comes with it. Fight comes with it when it
Yeah.
comes to them.
Oh,
And
yes,
that's-
yeah.
I'm not gonna do it anymore. And I teach my daughter, because my daughter's been bullied. My daughter had a racist white teacher in school this past school year that I had to call the superintendent on, and had to do an investigation and everything. She was saying, she actually said, this teacher, my daughter's the only Black student in the class. She said white people are rich, Black people are poor, and Hispanics are farmers.
Damn.
What?
They do it. They do it. You must be in Texas. No.
Listen, I live in this neighborhood, and my daughter goes to that school, but don't get it twisted. I'm not gonna stay quiet. Maybe if she was somebody else's Black child, they would have stayed quiet. I'm not staying quiet. I don't care where I live. I don't care who you are. Especially when it comes to my daughter, I'm gonna speak up. I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna let you know how wrong you were. And like, I have the ability to make you lose your job.
Yes,
Listen,
definitely.
The more we understand that they are not supreme, that they're just people just like us,
That's
and
right.
that our voice actually matters, and that we actually do have power, and the more we use it collectively, the more these things will not happen. You know,
That's right.
there is a emboldenedness that takes place, and a fearlessness that takes place in the hearts of white people when they know that they have control over us and we ain't gonna do nothing about it. And we have to be able to find the courage and find the unity to be able to say, you will no longer oppress us, and we're going to expose you every time you try to keep us down. Every
That's
time
right.
you try to be racist, every instance of brutality, every instance of you trying to oppress or slow down the progress of people of color, we're going to expose you, we're going to call you out on it, but then we're also going to take action.
Yeah.
So I just want to I'm going to read what I wrote here real quick. And I want you guys to tell me how, like what it means to you, okay? So what I wrote is, because one of the things that the Willie Lynch Letter really emphasizes is the lack of trust amongst people of color. A lack of trust. I don't trust another Black man. As a woman, a Black woman doesn't trust another woman of color. A woman doesn't trust a man. A man doesn't trust a woman. So this is what I want y'all to just hear and tell me what it means to you. And it's very simple phrase. No trust plus no unity equals no rebellion.
Yep.
No trust plus no unity equals no rebellion. Renee, when you hear that, what does that mean to you?
That means there's no reason for rebellion. It means there's no trust, there's no unity, so there's not going to be any rebellion.
Claudine, what does it mean to you?
No trust, so I don't know. It's like there's no need really to try. It's like you can really trust anybody, and it's gonna take a long time to get us together as Black and white to be united together. So like right now, nothing. We just
Yeah.
have to pray something change
You're absolutely right.
and keep praying and use our voices and love one another. Stop hating. It's like when people keep hurting us and said something bad, and you said something bad at them, it just create like a big motion fire. It's like
Yes.
it's mixed wash.
Yes.
It's not gonna help. It's not helping at all. Like something
No.
happened between my family and me, and only what I said to them, God be with you.
Yes, that
I
part.
said, God be with you, sister. God be with you, my brother. I forgive you, and I move on. I block them. And I know I'm supposed to really upset, really cursing at them, say a bunch of nasty things. But I know what they were saying about me, it wasn't true. And I just like, God be with you. And I forgive them. And I took my phone and I blocked them. I don't need to hear from them anymore. I don't need to talk to them anymore because they're negative. So if we talk like that, we deal like that, and we just pray about it, and something might change.
That's right. Let God take care of it.
Throwing flame in the fire, it didn't help. It's not helping us at all. I have lots of white friends. I have lots of white people. My kids are in white people school. And it's like, I don't never tell my kids white not good. It's just their way. It is right now. But we just have to love each other and pray about it.
That's it. That's it.
Angelina, no trust, no unity, no rebellion. What does that mean to
It
you?
means just that. If we don't learn to trust one another and let go of the stigmas that were implemented into us and our societies, and when I say our societies, I mean like the, you know, the hood, you know, the projects, and those. If we don't let that go and realize that we are one, like we're have each other's back. Learn to trust that I'm not going to stab you in the back. You're not going to stab me in the back. We're all going to do this together. Let go of the unite. When it then into us and our the white man's always going to win. Like that's just what's going to happen. I mean, like and I mean, I know I'm not a very religious person. I'm just not, because I feel that. I mean, that's a whole different story. Like a topic is the way the Bible was introduced to us was, you know, especially through slavery, and it was the white man who gave us the Bible, and it was just, so I'm not a very religious person. I believe in a higher being, and to, you know, everybody has their opinion and teach their own, but you have to get out of that mindset of Black people are bad, and even if you're Black, you believe that. Trust one another. Come together and rise up. Let them know. Keep open your, just say something. Because that's one thing I like I said, I'm not staying quiet. I don't care where I live. I don't care what where I live, I'm sorry, but there's some white people out here that really think that they're just going to do whatever they want, say whatever they want, treat you however they want, and it's okay. No. And if you think you're going to do it to another Hispanic or Black person in my presence, no. Because I'm going to say something. And I'm going to let you know. This is a very different time.
Yep. I saw a sign the other day during the protest that said, we are not the former generation. We are different.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't hear.
We are different. And things should be different. Things should not go
Very
back.
much.
So we're gonna close out, but before we close out, I just want to say something real quick to everyone who's watching. No trust, no unity, no rebellion. The Willie Lynch letter was created so that we could never get to a point where people of color ever rebelled. The Willie Lynch letter was created to keep millions of people of color suppressed under the power of white people. And it simply stemmed off of making sure that we did not trust one another. You got to understand something. If I don't trust you, you don't trust me. How could we ever get to a point where we can come together to fight? How could we ever form an army?
Yep.
I
Can't
might,
have enemies.
exactly. I might not have the financial ability to do anything about the white supremacist system. You may not have enough financial backing to do it. But if we all can figure out how to come together, then we can. We can overcome suppression. We can overcome a lack of jobs. We can overcome a lack of opportunities. But if I distrust you and you distrust me, how could we ever pool our resources together to be able to create anything? How could we ever get to a point where we are truly strong and truly have the ability to rise up and create our own opportunities if we never come together? That is how the United States and every other country was formed, by a group of people coming together in unity, creating a system, creating an organized front, and they were able to create some of the greatest countries in the entire world. You got to think about that. You got to think about what it does to a group of people when you can come together and all of y'all have nothing, but when you come together, now you have something.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest organizations, companies in the entire world came together because a couple of people were unified, brought their resources together, and said, we are going to march in a particular direction. And that is how we get companies like Ford, Toyota, Walmart. That's how we get these major corporations, because it is a group of people that decided to come together and create these companies. And now they're worth billions of dollars. But you have to be able to come together. There is a wealth of resources that can be created simply by coming together. There is a wealth of opportunities that are instantly created when we come together. But if we do not come together, there's certain opportunities you'll never see. There's certain aspects of your personality that you'll never even get to see if you don't come together with the right man or the right woman.
Yep.
There's certain things about you that don't get unlocked until you're in a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
I agree.
So there's certain levels of wealth and there's certain levels of opportunity that we will never see as people of color if we don't connect with each other.
But it's trust.
And it's all based on a lack of trust. Okay? Yeah. Barack Obama would have never been elected if people didn't come together in unity.
Yeah.
And here on the other end of it, Donald Trump had no chance in the world to beat any politician if the people that support Donald Trump didn't come together in unity to get this man elected. And that's the same way that he's going to get unelected. is if people come together collectively and use their voting power to get him out of there.
Yeah.
Because if the people don't come together, right? And primarily, I'm gonna keep it real, he primarily negatively affects people of color.
Yes.
So if the people of color don't actually come together and vote unanimously, he's gonna get another 4 years. Yeah.
And then the world will end.
And then the world explodes.
Yeah.
Literally.
Essentially.
Claudine, what?
Can I say something before you go?
What you say, Claudine?
Oh, I just want to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Haitian people, lots of them, they don't really support each other. So they'll support the white people. Like when it's time to vote, most of them vote for Trump. Most of them. Because Clinton, they went Haiti, they stole land, they stole a bunch of stuff in Haiti. So they don't really think about what that's gonna do for them. They just hate them so much, they just go vote for Trump. And now Trump is a president. He's calling Haiti shithole. Can you blame him for that? No, I don't blame him for that. It is a shithole. We cannot get our head together. Even in Haiti, people with light skin color or like look white, they don't give shit about people with dark skin. They treat us like different. I have kinky hair, they have like all straight hair, blonde hair. They treat us different. Even they speak Creole, they start speaking English. They act like they don't even know. They won't even help you. So in Haiti, they have so many good opportunities. They can build it, make something for everybody. No, they let the stranger come in and take over our land. Then they start getting mad at them. They shouldn't do that. Yeah. So they're supposed to be with each other, support each other. Hopefully that's a lesson for them to learn.
Absolutely.
Maybe one day things might change.
Hopefully, but it need to hurry up and change because I cannot sleep comfortably knowing that my child is going to grow up in a world where white people are always going to be in control of her.
Yeah, it's supposed to be equal. It's supposed to be equal. You just watch, friend, whatever. It's like, it's crazy.
I don't like.
It's like I live between those people I can't even talk to. If I got a headache, I have to call police, and those police gonna come in, and I'm sure they're gonna help me. But I cannot go next door or call them in the phone.
Listen, I'm trying my best not to call the police. I'm trying my best to figure out how not to call the police. Because
when
the police have never been my friend.
And the best thing is, when you call 911, police doesn't show up. You got firefighters who show up. That's the best thing.
So, I just want to speak to the people, but I also want to speak to the people that are in our group, right? So what we are doing at the Khaliseum, this is something that I really need people to really understand, all right, and really grasp hold of, because sometimes I feel like even the people that we deal with in our organization don't understand this. So we are building an organization that takes everybody working in unison. like we at the Khaliseum are not just talking about how we need to be unified and how we need to work together and how, you know, black people and Spanish people and brown people and we need to be able to come together and do something and pool our resources together. We ain't just talking about, we actually trying to do it. We actually trying to do it. So what we're trying to do here at the Khaliseum is we are not just trying to do a podcast. We are trying to build a podcast network, right? Which means a bunch of different podcasts, a bunch of different shows. What we are really trying to do is trying to build an actual cable television channel from the ground up. Now, that is not something that any of us has probably ever seen coming from individuals. We probably never seen someone create an actual cable television channel from scratch. That's what we're actually doing. And the reason why we're doing it is because cable television shows or cable television channels or networks create thousands of jobs and generate billions of dollars. And we want to be able to do that for our people. We want to be able to come together, create something that is going to generate wealth and opportunities for the people that are brown, black, light skinned, and everything in between. But we cannot do that if you guys are not showing up for podcasts, if you guys are not helping out with fundraising efforts, if you guys are not sharing it on your pages, if you guys are not doing the things that are necessary for us to grow. Right in front of you, we are trying to create the next BET, the next NBC, the next HBO, right in front of you, right now. This is not 10 years from now, 30 years from now. We're doing it right now, right here in front of you, while other people are creating podcasts that are just going on Facebook, creating podcasts that are just going on YouTube, creating podcasts that are just going on these platforms that they don't own. We are creating show after show after show after show on a platform that is Black owned. And we're just distributing it to all these other platforms. But we cannot build, we cannot grow, we cannot get to the rebellion. We cannot get to the rebellion unless we have trust, we have unity. Because they don't want us to own our own network. They don't want us to have billions of dollars. They don't want us to own the social network. They want us to be a part of their social networks. They want us to participate in building their platforms. They don't want us to own the platform.
No.
Yeah.
We have to
Do you
it
know-
Who's gonna own it though?
We already do. We already do. We already do. Now we just have to actually help it to grow. Do you know the amount of money that Twitter generates? The amount of money that Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube generate? And every Black person is on one of those platforms. Every Black creative, Black singer, Black director, any Black person of any type of talent and vision is on those platforms. But do you know anything that Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Vimeo, Snapchat, do you know anything they've done for the Black community? Have you ever seen any of those platforms, those billions of dollars that they have? Have you ever seen it put into the Black community?
Nope.
No, not at all, right?
I have.
No, not at all. You have never seen a Facebook representative step foot in the hood. You've never seen a Twitter representative. But every person of color that has any type of creativity is on these platforms, but yet they do nothing for us.
Nope.
Absolutely nothing. They will televise our pain and our shame, but they will not help us rebel. They will not help us rebel. They will not help us get to a point where we are the owners instead of just the consumers. The Khaliseum is the rebellion.
Woohoo! Yay!
All right, this is the Shorty Rock NYC show. Thank you for participating and watching. Please share this. My name is Shorty Rock. You can find me all over the internet, ShortyRocNYC, Facebook, Instagram, and on the Khaliseum. All right. Riri, go ahead and tell them where they can find you.
I'm Riri. You can find me on Facebook, Rebecca Renee Riri Thompson, our Sunshine Money Solution and Tax Services, our Instagram at BeckTine37.
All right. And then Claudine, tell them where they can find you.
Hi, you can find me on Instagram, CLAUDINE0318, Facebook, Claudine Lee.
All right. And then Angelina, tell them where they can find you.
Facebook, Angelina Maria. Instagram, Angelina Maria 4 underscores.
All right. That's what it is. This is Shorty Rock NYC show. The only place that a person of color can come and not have you ain't gotta have no prerequisite, no resume, no references, nothing. All you gotta do is be somebody that is cool and that Shorty Rock likes, and you can get put on this network. That's it. Now go to Facebook. Go to Facebook and try to get hired without that. All right. God bless. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.
All right. See you
Bye.
Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye.